It's the Reds on Radio with Marty Brenneman and Joe Nuxall. Reds baseball is brought to you by Stroh's, family brewers for 200 years, from one sports lover to another, and by the Marathon Oil Company, people who believe in people. By the First National Bank of Cincinnati, where your money grows safely in high-return certificates of deposit. By the Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company of Cincinnati, bottlers of Pepsi-Cola, Dr. Pepper, and Schweppes products. By Frisch's. Frisch's. Sports or any kind of fun, they just naturally go together. And by Riverside Ford in Newport, a block and a bridge from downtown Cincinnati. Now, for all the play-by-play action of Cincinnati Reds baseball, we go to Marty Brenneman and Joe Nuxall.
Good afternoon, everybody. From Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, Joe Nuxall and yours truly, Marty Brenneman, welcoming you to Reds baseball. Today, a doubleheader against Jim Marshall's Chicago Cubs to wrap up this particular series. And the Reds ticket office announced just a short time ago that tickets are available for the Twin Bills today. In the first game, right-hander Gary Nolan goes for his 5th consecutive victory. And for the Chicago Cubs, it'll be right-hander Rick Russell. We'll be back with a game line today after we pause for this message.
If you're out in Aurora, Colorado on a Friday or Saturday night, you'll probably find it's a pretty safe place to be, thanks to guys like Ed Gunner, who thinks enough of his town to want to keep it that way. He doesn't get paid for it, but money's not the reason Ed became a member of the Aurora Volunteer Police Department. Ed's a volunteer because he believes being a good citizen means more than just living someplace and minding your own business. Ed believes you have to do something to make a town a good place to live. Now, Ed Gunner doesn't have to spend a lot of his nights keeping his town safe, but he wants to, because he believes in people. Ed Gunner is also a full-time employee of Marathon Oil Company at the Research Center in Littleton, Colorado.
Marathon is people just like you, and just like me, who believe in people.
Marathon Oil Company. People who believe in people.
If you're ready now, the lineup for the Chicago Cubs in Game 1, leading off and playing shortstop is Don Kessinger. Batting number 2, and in left field, Jose Cardinal. Billy Madlock at third base, hitting third. Batting fourth, the center fielder is Rick Mundy. Batting number 5, and at first base, Andy Thornton. Hitting sixth, the right fielder is Pete Lecock. Manny Trio at second base, batting 7th. Hitting 8th and catching is Steve Swisher. And batting number 9 and pitching for the Cubs in the first of our Twin Bills today is right-hander Rick Russell. The Reds are on the field. We'll pass along their starting lineup after the playing of our national anthem. Once again, quickly, the Cub batting order today. Kessinger at shortstop, Cardinal in left field, Madlock at third, Mundy in center, Thornton at first base, and Lecock in right. With Trio at second, Swisher catching, and Russell pitching. For Cincinnati, the leadoff hitter will be third baseman Pete Rose. Batting number 2 and playing right field is Dan Dreesen. Joe Morgan, the second baseman, hitting third. Batting number 4, and the catcher is Johnny Bench. Tony Perez at first base, hitting number 5. Batting 6th in center field, Cesar Geronimo. Davey Concepcion at shortstop will bat 7th. Hitting 8th in left field, George Foster. Batting number 9 and pitching for the Reds in the first one is right-hander Gary Nolan. Again for Cincinnati, it's Rose at third, Dreesen in right field, and Morgan at second base. Bench catching, Perez at first, Geronimo in center, with Concepcion at shortstop, Foster in left field, and Nolan on the mound. This broadcast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by Cincinnati Reds Incorporated solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Cincinnati Reds Incorporated is prohibited. The announcers on this broadcast are employed by the Cincinnati Reds Incorporated. Gary Nolan ready to go, and Joe, a man with a great deal of momentum going forward.
I hope to tell you, 5 or 4 straight wins, and things have been going very well for Gary and certainly the ball club, and I have to make that tremendous statement. We can't win 2 if we don't win the first.
Well, we've had good luck with it over the last couple of years. Here's Kessinger to start off the game for the Chicago Cubs as Nolan delivers to him a breaking pitch over on the inside, a called strike. Well, the Reds start out today in first place in the West. The Dodgers shut out by Steve Carlson in Philadelphia on 2 hits, 4-0 last night. Here's the 0-1, swung out on a fly ball into left center field. Geronimo right there, and Kessinger is the game's first out. Counter will be left fielder Jose Cardinal, who miraculously recovered from an ankle injury that he suffered late in yesterday's game. Had to be helped off the field by Cub trainer and then the manager Jim Marshall, and through the miracles of modern-day science, he's back in the Chicago starting lineup. Cardinal batting .326 with 5 homers and 26 RBIs. Right-handed batter. Gary Nolan delivers to the plate, and the pitch is swung on and hit in the air to left field. Concepcion is back there waiting on it, and Davey puts it away, and quickly 2 down. So with 2 outs, the hitter will be third baseman Billy Madlock. In that Philadelphia win last night, Dick Allen with 2 home runs off left-hander Doug Rao, Allen's first 2 in a Philly uniform this season, and a late 2-run shot by Greg Luzinski. Carlin picked up his second shutout of the year, and the Reds are in first place by 0.4 of a percentage point as we begin today. Madlock looks at a strike. Cub third baseman in his second year in the Chicago uniform, batting .325, has 32 RBIs and 3 homers. Outfield straight away for him. He swings and hits a fly ball into right. Danny Dreesen right there, and the Cubs are very quickly out in the first inning. 3 up and 3 down. They're scoreless in the top of the first, and the Cincinnati Reds are coming to bat.
You know, if you're like most people, you think all banks are pretty much alike. So when it came time for you to choose a bank, you probably didn't look too hard. Maybe you went to the bank nearest you for convenience. Or maybe you opened an account at a financial institution that gives away all sorts of free gifts. Or perhaps you were attracted by what's come to be known as free checking. But choosing the right bank is serious business, because when you open an account at a bank, you're actually buying that bank. Well, you put your money in it, don't you? So when it comes time for you to buy a banking service, we at First National would like to suggest you shop around. Compare services, security, people, reputation. Chances are you'll choose the First National Bank of Cincinnati. But the important thing is, you'll know you made the right choice.
First National Bank of Cincinnati.
We go on to the bottom of the first inning as Pete Rose prepares to lead things off against right-hander Rick Russell, who's won 4 of 9 decisions and has a .419 earned run average. But, Joe, we saw in a game of the week a couple of weeks ago, this guy can be awfully tough on a given day.
I hope to tell you, his ball really sinks, Marty, and runs in on the right-handed batters. So if Rick is keeping the ball down, why, he can be an extremely tough guy to score on.
He has 2 complete games, and one was the one we were talking about against the Dodgers when he beat Andy Messersmith at Wrigley Field. Rose in and waiting as Russell delivers to the plate, and the pitch hits Pete. Rose slams the bat down in disgust. That pitch appeared to hit him in the lower part of the back, and he's really upset as he fires the bat down and goes on down to first base. Rose a little bit upset as he stands now atop the bag at first, and he didn't let his feelings hide themselves at all. He fired that bat down, and
well, I would have to say that there was a purpose for that, certainly. I think Russell meant it.
well, we'll see what develops in this game. Here's Danny Dreesen. The pitch is low to him. Dreesen playing right field today with a return of Tony Perez to the Reds' order, and Danny swinging a hot bat. Sparky wanted to keep it in there. Hitting .257. Here's a throw to first base, and Rose steps back. Dreesen with his first home run of the season, and certainly one of the longer shots that we've seen at Riverfront Stadium this season to right center yesterday. He takes it up high, and he's out in front at 2-0. Well, if there was a purpose for Rick Russell hitting Pete Rose to start this inning, maybe we can make him pay for it by getting some runs home. Rose at first, a 2-0 count on Danny Dreesen. Joe Morgan swinging a bat in the on-deck circle as the right-hander checks in with Swisher and throws to the plate. That's swung on and hammered foul down the left field line. In the Cubs infield, Andy Thornton is at first base, Manny Trio at second. The captain of the Chicago club, Kessinger at shortstop, and Madlock at third. In left field, Jose Cardinal, and center Rick Mundy, and in right, Pete Lecock. Swisher behind the plate, and Rick Russell behind to the left-handed batting Dreesen, bringing it up to the plate. This one taken outside and high. It's a ball 3. 3-1. Cubs losing each of the first 2 games of the series, 5-1 against Gullett, 8-1 against Billingham. Russell lob throwing on to Thornton before throwing the 3-1 on to Danny Dreesen. Lecock deep in right field. Here's a pitch. That is taken ball 4 low, and the Reds get their first 2 men on in the first inning. Joe Morgan batting .337 with 7 homers. He got number 7 yesterday and 32 RBIs. He's been hitting .348 in his last 6 games with 8 hits and 23 times up. So Rose at second, Dreesen at first, the hit batsman a walk, gets him on with nobody out. Russell into his stretch motion as he checks Rose at second, delivers inside a ball to Morgan. Well, we were certainly witness to some Chicago pitching that had problems finding the strike zone yesterday in the 6th inning, in which the Reds scored 3 times and batting around had only 1 hit, but Cub pitchers served up 5 walks. Russell having trouble here in the 1st inning. Morgan is out in front, ball 2, 2-0. We've got the full complement of 4 umpires working today, with Bob Engel returning. He's at first base, Doug Harvey calling balls and strikes, Harry Windelstad at second, and Dutch Renner at third. No score in the 1st inning, but we're trying to change that situation. Here's a very, very high fly ball into straightaway, fairly shallow right field. Lecock is under, and he makes the catch. 1 out, and the batter will be Johnny Bench. Johnny enjoying a most productive day in the 8-1 victory yesterday. His 12th homer of the year, a 2-run single, a bases-loaded walk. He now totals 43 RBIs, which is tops not only in the National League, but also in the Major Leagues, period. And his 12 home runs, the pace setter in our league. Batting .282. Rose leading at second, Dreesen likewise at first, but now 1 out in the inning. The Russell pitch, and Bench swings and does not get it. Good day for baseball here in Cincinnati, and another fine, fine crowd on hand. Reds the hottest club in the National League, having won 14 out of their last 17, and with a win here yesterday, now 10 over the 500 mark at 32-22. Bench again does not get the pitch, and it's 0-2. So Russell very quickly getting his act together after hitting Pete and walking Danny. Got Morgan on a fly ball to Lecock in right field, and he's out in front, 2 strikes on Johnny Bench. The Chicago infield, a double play depth. Russell pauses and delivers, and Bench strikes out swinging as he went after a pitch away. 2 down, and Tony Perez coming to the plate as Tony makes his first appearance in the Cincinnati starting lineup since May 25th, the second game of that Memorial Day doubleheader here, in which he was hit in the right thumb by a Jim Lonborg pitch. Suffered a fracture on the tip end of that thumb, and except for a couple of pinch hit rolls, this is the first time for him. Tries to get the Reds on the board with 2 out. Russell delivers, and Tony swings and misses. Perez batting .219 with 7 home runs and 31 runs batted in. Strike 1 delivery. Missing on the inside. It's a ball, and it's even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Now the San Francisco Giants and the Pittsburgh Pirates are underway in the first of their double dip. Ed Halicki going against rookie left-hander John Candelaria. And the Giants have scored a run at the top of the first inning. Strike 2 on a foul ball in and out of the mid of Steve Swisher. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Tony Perez, and Rick Russell doing a pretty good job right now. The first 2 men in the inning get on against him, but is a strike away from leaving those 2 stranded here in the bottom of the first inning. The outfield for Perez is straight away and deep. Swisher sends out the sign as Russell checks in with him. Right-hander ready to go, and he brings it to the plate. Perez strikes out swinging on a fastball up and in, and the side retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on at the end of 1 complete. The Reds nothing, and the Cubs nothing.
The folks at the Stroh Brewery want to remind you that it's Stroh a party time, and they also want to give you a free recipe on how to Stroh a party. So, here goes. First, get yourself some good music like this. Next, add some good friends and neighbors. Spread around some good snacks like potato chips, pretzels, things your friends like, or be different, and surprise them with something new and good. Then top everything off with plenty of good, cold Stroh's beer. That's the important part. Blend it all together, and you've got yourself one great party. Keep this in mind the next time you're out shopping, and look for the Stroh Party display featuring our Stay Cold 12-pack wherever you buy beer. And we'll see you at the party. The Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan.
Chicago center fielder Rick Mundy and their cleanup hitter will lead off the top of the second against Gary Nolan, who disposed of Kessinger, Cardinal, and Madlock in bang-bang fashion in the first inning. Gary, in his last start, had physical problems, developed stomach cramps so severe that he finally had to leave that game in Pittsburgh with 1 out in the 7th inning, but got credit for an 8-4 victory. And his 2 victories before that, a 1-run, 4-hit performance against the Montreal Expos there, and then came back in his next start to shut out the Expos on only 2 base hits. So Gary Nolan is pitching very, very well. He delivers a strike to the taking Monday. Rick hitting .302, 5 homers and 25 runs batted in for this veteran center fielder. He swings and misses at an off-speed pitch away, and he's down at 0-2. Andy Thornton on deck, and he'll be followed by the right fielder Pete Lecock. Nolan working rapidly, back with the 0-2 delivery, and that is strike 3 swinging. So Gary Nolan picks up his first strikeout of the game and his 37th of the year. He's walked only 14 batters, an amazing statistic in itself when you consider that 2 of them have been intentional walks, and he's pitched a total now of 84 innings complete. Thornton, a right-handed batter, hitting .328. Pitch to him is taken at the knees, a call strike 1. Gary Nolan continually throwing absolutely nothing but strikes. In fact, I don't believe he's missed with a pitch out of the strike zone since this game started. Thornton swings and misses at a curve outside, a breaking ball. He was lunging at that pitch, strike 2. Cincinnati infield has Perez at first, Morgan second, Concepcion at short, Rose at third. On outfield of Foster, Geronimo and Dreesen left, center, and right, bench behind the plate. Thornton looks at the pitch down and away. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Andy Thornton out of the batter's box, but now back in. Gary Nolan starts into his windup, stops, starts again, and Thornton steps out. Doug Harvey will go to dusting the plate off. Count, a ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases empty in the second. Pitch just missing the outside edge, ball 2. 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch. That is strike 3 call. Came with a fastball to Thornton, and he's going to argue a bit about it with the plate umpire, Doug Harvey. That looked, from our vantage point, to be one heck of a good pitch. But Thornton didn't think so, and he talks about it. 2 away, back-to-back strikeouts for Nolan. Here's right fielder Pete Lecock. Lecock, a left-handed hitter. He has appeared in both games in the series. Swings on the first pitch and hits a fly ball to right field. Danny Dreesen moving over to his right and puts it away to retire the side. So the Cubs are, as they were in the first inning, quickly out in order in the second. And after 1.5 innings of play in our first game, it's the Reds nothing and the Cubs likewise.
There's a feeling around, it's America's sound. Every people feeling free, free to choose a new way, free to stand up and say, you be you and I'll be me.
What does feeling free mean to you?
Fishing, flying,
Playing handball, dashing, driving cross country,
partying,
playing basketball, running track,
spending money,
being yourself, doing your thing, and being cool.
Before the Reds come to bat in the second, we'll pause for station identification on the Reds Baseball Network.
The home of the $5,000 button, WLW Cincinnati. Lots of pre-game fun awaits Cincinnati Reds fans on Farmers Night at Riverfront Stadium. The Reds meet the Padres Saturday, June 28th on Farmers Night.
Here's Geronimo starting the Reds' second inning, swinging and missing at a Russell pitch inside and low to the left-handed hitter. Geronimo batting .278. No score, home second. Russell in a bit of a jam in the first as the first 2 men reached against him, but then proceeded to get Morgan on a fly ball and chalked up back-to-back strikeouts at the expense of Johnny Bench and Tony Perez. Russell with a long look in. He shakes off Swisher and now deals the 0-1. That backs Geronimo off the plate a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Riverfront Stadium most kind to the Reds this season. 20 wins and 5 losses in 25 games. Foul ball off the 1-1 pitch. Hope we can make it 22-5 after this twin bill today. We've won a doubleheader, lost 1, and split 1. Split with Houston here, lost to Philadelphia, and swept Montreal. 1-2 delivery. Swung on a fly ball down the left field line. It'll be out of play. Tomorrow night, the Pittsburgh Pirates come in for a 2-game series. Freddie Norman will go against Jerry Royce, the same matchup as we witnessed in Pittsburgh on Wednesday night. Quite a pitching duel between those 2 guys. Another foul as Geronimo stays alive. Then on Tuesday night, Pat Darcy will be going against left-hander Sam McDowell. Geronimo behind to the right end of Russell. The ball, 2 strikes. Russell ready. Geronimo ground ball foul at first base and on down to the Reds bullpen. As we wrap up the series here against the Cubs, the Dodgers and the Phillies are doing the same thing, although a single game in Philadelphia today. Don Sutton after his 11th victory against Jim Lonborg. Then the Dodgers will be going home for 10 days. Pitch. Swung out and a base hit center field. First Cincinnati hit, first hit of the game for that matter, goes to Geronimo as he lines one back up the middle off a 1-2 pitch. And the hitter now will be our shortstop, Dave Concepcion, who is the proud owner of a 9-game hitting streak coming in today. It's the longest hitting streak on our club this season. At 11 for 36 over the 9-game span. And on the year hitting .296 with 3 homers and 27 RBIs. Russell working out of the stretch as the Chief leads at first. Here's a bunt foul off the third base line by Concepcion. Mentioned that San Francisco-Pittsburgh doubleheader, another doubleheader scheduled today up in Montreal. San Diego and the Expos rained out 2 straight days up there. Going in a pair this afternoon, McIntosh against McNally in the first game. Madlock playing just a bit in shallow at third base, but before Russell throws to the plate, he throws to first base. 1 strike to count on David. There goes Geronimo. Pitch is swung on and missed. The throw down to second is in time. Now Concepcion, as we saw yesterday, simply threw his bat at the ball, trying to protect the runner, and Geronimo cut down Swisher to trio, 2-4 if you're scoring with us. So the bases are empty as Geronimo is caught stealing, and a 2-strike count on Dave Concepcion with 1 out. George Foster will be up next. Davey taking his time, getting back in the batter's box as Russell waits patiently out on the mound. Now the wind and the pitch. Strike 3 swinging. Russell's 3rd strikeout inside the first 2 innings. He'll be working against Foster now with 2 down. Foster hitting .280, and he's second on the club with his 9 homers. The Johnny Bench's 12 and has 17 runs batted in. Other single games in the National League today. Mentioned the L.A.-Philadelphia game and Atlanta-New York. Buzz Capper will go against Tommy Hall as the former Reds reliever makes his 2nd start for Yogi Berra. Foster fouls back the first pitch. George with a home run here on Friday night. Two down in the inning, nobody on base, and a no-score game in the second. Foster hits a broken bat, slow ground ball to shortstop. Kessinger has it, and his throw to Thornton is in time to retire Foster and retire the side. No runs, a hit, nobody left on. We play 2 complete now with a score Cincinnati nothing, Chicago nothing.
Everybody in baseball knows you have to expect the unexpected at all times. You never know what might happen. For example, there was a play in a Cub-Dodger game during the 1916 season. Casey Stengel is the authority for this one, and as Casey says, you can look it up. It happened on a strikeout. The Cubs were at Ebbets Field in Brooklyn. Their batter, Rollie Zeider, struck out. The pitch got by the Brooklyn catcher and hit the umpire, Mal Eason, in the chest. The ball rebounded toward third base. There, Mike Mowry, the Brooklyn third baseman, picked up the ball off the grass and fired it to first in time to retire the batter, Zeider, running to first after he had fanned. A crazy, unexpected way to get a man out. And the Brooklyn third baseman, Mowry, was credited with an assist on the strikeout. We recall this moment in history because the people at Stroh's believe a good baseball story is worth telling. The Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan. Family brewers for 200 years.
Gary Nolan has retired the first 6 Cub batters to face him, and as we go on to the top of the 3rd inning, he'll be first working against second baseman Manny Trio. Here to call the action for you, Joe Nuxall.
All right, Marty, it'll be Trio, Swisher, and Russell here in the 3rd inning. Gary has had a couple of strikeouts, got Mundy swinging and Thornton looking in the 2nd inning. Nolan in his 12th start of the year, ready to go to work to Manny Trio. Delivers the first pitch, a fastball for a called strike. Gary has completed 4 games and a fine 271 earned run average. Nolan into the line, the 0-1. That swung on and hit into right field. Danny Dreesen moving in. He has it 1 away. 1 down, and Steve Swisher to the plate. Swisher, a 180 batting average, with 7 RBIs, 6 doubles, a triple. Steve, a graduate of Ohio University. And now Nolan talking with Pete Rose on the mound and looking into the bench. And now Larry Starr, the trainer, is going up. And whether it's Pete or... Well, it's Pete. Apparently has something in his right eye. Larry Starr checking things out. Doug Harvey, the plate umpire there, looking on. First game at Pittsburgh, after 2 innings, the Giants lead the Pirates 1-0. The only game underway at the moment, other than this particular game, in the National League. All right, you're ready to go. Nolan's first pitch to Swisher is high and inside the ball. Pitcher Rick Russell on deck. The line, the 1-0. Swisher takes this one, and it cost him a strike. Harry getting the outside corner, 1-1. Outfield shades just a bit toward right for Swisher. The 1-1 delivery. That swung on and popped up. Tony Perez at first base, waiting. He has it 2 away. Two down. That'll bring pitcher Russell up. He's hitting .087. He's had an RBI and a home run, 2 hits and 23 times to the plate. Harry winds, and the fastball gets the outside corner. Called strike. Russell, a big guy. 0-1 delivery. Perez swung on and missed. And Nolan quickly out in front. 0-2 to Russell. The 0-2 on the way. Strike 3 call. The fastball gets the outside corner, and I'll tell you, this man, when he is going, can make it look so easy it's almost pathetic. So the Cubs out in order in the 3rd, nothing across, and at the middle of the 3rd, no score.
Stop and enjoy a big boy, an Applejack hamburger treat. The national favorite, coast to coast, so stop and enjoy a big boy.
Watching the Reds win at Riverfront Stadium has always been a great way to spend the day. And one sure way to add to that enjoyment is going to Frisch's before or after the game. It's all part of the tradition. Why Frisch's? Because not only does Frisch's offer a wide variety of great-tasting treats from sandwiches to full-course dinners, they also have the convenience of curb service. When you drive into Frisch's, there is never any waiting for curb service. You simply press the button on the speaker, and your order is taken immediately. Fast, easy, and convenient. That's the best way to describe Frisch's curb service. So the next time you're on your way to the game, curb your appetite. Visit your nearest Frisch's drive-in restaurant.
Stop and enjoy a big boy, an Applejack hamburger treat. The national favorite, coast to coast, so stop and enjoy a big boy.
Reds coming to bat. They'll send Gary Nolan to the plate to lead it off in the bottom half of the third. Gary has had 5 hits and 25 times to the plate this year. This is Brenneman's man. First pitch to Nolan is a called strike from Russell. Gary's had an RBI. The 0-1, Nolan takes a half swing. It cost him 0-2. Gary owns one major league home run. That was hit in Candlestick Park a few years back. 0-2 delivery, missing low and outside, 1-2. A while since we've had a pitcher hit a home run. 1-2 delivery. Swung on and missed, and Russell has his 4th strikeout. 1 away, and here's Pete Rose, and Pete was really upset in the first inning. The first pitch of the ball game to Pete, out of the ball game, hit Pete somewhere in the legs, and boy, he slammed the bat down and was very upset. Rose with a .297 batting average. Russell delivers, and that's taken inside and high a ball. Pete 3 home runs and 28 RBIs. The outfield for Pete straight away. Russell works. Rose swings, and it's a strike. Pete tried to check. Count evens 1-1. Great crowd in yesterday's ball game, 47,000 plus. 1-1 delivery, swung on and fouled, a ball, 2 strikes. And this afternoon, well, even more than the 47,000. A ball, 2 strikes to count to Rose. The base is empty and 1 away. Russell has his sign, and the 1-2. Inside as Rose leans away from the slider. Count evens, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Danny Dreesen waits on deck. Russell the 2-2. Outside, full count to Pete. Reds have had 1 hit off Russell, that being Geronimo's single leading off the second inning. A payoff on the way. That's a half-swing bouncer to Trio. At second, he has it on to Thornton. And 2 down. He tried to check the swing on the off-speed pitch. It bounces to Trio. 2 away, and Danny Dreesen to the plate. Dan walked in the first inning. Dreesen in right field this afternoon. Kenny Griffey having problems with that hand again. Heard it quite a while ago. Russell delivers to Dreesen outside the corner, a called strike. Oh, and 1 the count. Russell delivers. Dreesen looks at it inside this time, and it evens at 1-1. Russell, a slow worker. Now the 1-1 on the way. That swung on, a hard 1 bouncer. Kessinger at short. His throw on to Thornton, and that's it for the Reds. They're out in order in the third, nothing across, and after 3 innings here in the first game at Riverfront, the Reds nothing, the Cubs nothing.
When people get old or sick or both, they live alone. It's pretty near impossible for them to get the hot meals they need to make them feel good. That's why Jim Frankert, John Wyndham, Dick Mannon, Paul Geyer, and Jim Youngflesh became members of an organization in Findlay, Ohio, called Mobile Meals. On their lunch hours, these men take hot meals to people who otherwise wouldn't get them. And they bring more than food with them when they come to call. They bring warmth and kindness and love. These men don't have to spend time making people happy, but they want to, because they believe in people. These men are also full-time employees of Marathon Oil Company, Findlay, Ohio.
Marathon is people just like you and just like me, who believe in people.
Marathon Oil Company, people who believe in people.
Well, we've gone through 3 quick innings here in the first game of the doubleheader. The Cubs, nothing across. The Reds have had a hit. It's going to be Don Kessinger leading it off in the 4th. And back with the action, Marty Brenneman.
Kessinger leading off the ball game at a fly ball to center field. Nolan has struck out 3 in the first 3 innings. As Joe mentioned, has not allowed anybody to reach on him. In fact, only 1 hit in the game, and that was a single by Geronimo leading off the second. Kessinger, a switch hitter, batting .262. Nolan throwing the first pitch here in the 4th, and it's too much inside, ball 1. Don is a left-handed batter hitting .268 this season. He's had 10 of his 13 RBIs that way, and a .250 hitter as a right-handed batter. The 1-0 delivery, that stays in on him. It's ball 2. Gary Nolan starting Kessinger out with 2 pitches in, and both missing. 2 balls and no strikes. Cardinal and Madlock to follow in the inning. Rose playing a shallow third base. Kessinger hits a fly ball into right field. Dreesen backing on it. Danny waiting. 1 out. So make it 10 straight that Gary Nolan is retired as he goes to work against left fielder Cardinal, who popped out the shortstop in the first inning. This reminder, the winning entries in the Reds McAlpin's Draw Your Favorite Cincinnati Reds Player Contest will be on display next week at the McAlpin store in Northgate. Stop by and see them if you're in the area. No score in the game, 4th inning. Cardinal, and it's a fastball down low, a ball. In the second game today, a left-hander will go for Chicago, Jeff Zahn, the former Los Angeles Dodger, and for Cincinnati, right-hander Clay Kirby. 2 balls, no strikes. Cardinal, of course, a veteran. Spent some years with the California Angels in the American League. Had a good year with the St. Louis Cardinals. There's ball 3 to him. So Nolan has gone a 3-ball count for the first time in this game. He falls behind 3-0 to Cardinal. The pitch on the way, and that's over for a taken strike. Cardinal back in 1970 hit .293 with the Cardinals. 2 years ago, a .303 batter with the Chicago team, his best year. He swings on the 3-1 and pops it up. Just behind second base, Morgan camping and makes the catch, so 2 down. Here's Billy Madlock, the 2-out hitter. Fly ball to Dreesen in the first inning. The Dodgers and the Phils are underway. L.A. scoreless in the first against Lonborg. Philadelphia batting against Sutton. Talking about the fact the Dodgers are going to be going home. They'll be facing Montreal and New York in a pair of 2-game series. Philadelphia 3 and Houston 3. Ball 1. It has not been a good road trip by any stretch of the imagination for Walter Alston's club, and boy, it'd be great to take a pair here today and get a Philadelphia victory over the Dodgers and open up a little daylight. Here's a ground ball, base hit center field. So Gary Nolan, after retiring the first 11 batters in this game, gives up a 2-out single to Billy Madlock. That extends the Chicago 4th for Rick Monday. Monday struck out swinging as a leadoff batter in the second inning. Left-handed batting Rick Monday at the plate, and it's a call strike on the inside edge. Pointed out the other night, this fella has a distinction of being the first player ever drafted in the free agent draft back in 1965 out of Arizona State by the Oakland A's. Curve hangs high to him, 1-1. Madlock, the first Chicago base runner, he's on at first. Nolan working with a 1-1 pitch to Rick Mundy. Swung on a fly ball right field. Dreesen digging toward the line. Coming hard. Loses his cap. Makes the catch. Tire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors, and one man is left on. We're in the middle of the fourth inning at Riverfront Stadium. And the score, Cincinnati nothing, Chicago nothing.
There's always got to be an end to the day. There always comes a time when we go our own way. I gave it all I had, but now it ends. The show is over. Good night, my friends. Now it's time to go my homeward way. For a fear that still made the right way. It's a moment every beer lover knows. When you end your day with a stroke. From one beer lover to another stroke.
That was Lobo for the Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan. Family brewers for 200 years.
The current homestand continues here at Riverfront Stadium tomorrow night. The Pirates come to town for night games Monday and Tuesday. The Cardinals here Wednesday and Thursday nights. Stop by the Reds ticket agency nearest you in Salina, Ohio at the Style Shop. In Fairfield, Ohio at Fairfield Pharmacy. In Muncie, Indiana at Reed Sporting Goods. In Seymour at Montgomery Ward. And in Frankfort, Kentucky at Sears Roebuck. Here's Joe Morgan. Here's Rick Russell, and it's too low for a ball. No score, bottom of the fourth. The Reds have their hammers up in this inning. Morgan with Bench and Perez to follow. Russell has been touched for only one hit. That the Geronimo single in the second. Morgan swings on the curve and does not get it. He's also hit a batter. Rose walked a batter. Dreesen has struck out 4. Russell has gotten off to a good start, as has our own Gary Nolan. Count even to Joe Morgan. A ball, 1 strike. Russell with that casual wind-up, and Morgan takes a fastball over. 1-2. Now San Diego has hit Dave McNally for a big 3 spot in the top of the first inning up at Jerry Park. Strike 3 call as Russell slides one over on the inside at the letters. Morgan a little bit upset, and he's jawing with Doug Harvey as he strolls back to the dugout. So Rick Russell spotting his pitches extremely well. Give him 5 strikeouts and bring up Johnny Bench, who he struck out on 3 pitches in the first inning. Give him 5 strikeouts and bring up Johnny Bench, who he struck out on 3 pitches in the first inning. J.B. Waiting swings and misses. Well, he's trying to make it a 1-0 game with that cut. Game moving rapidly along. Started out as a bona fide pitcher's duel. Strike 2, swinging. No balls and 2 strikes. Russell against Bench. Trio pull well over and behind the bag at second base for Johnny. Pitch missing outside and low, 1-2. L.A., Philadelphia through 1 complete, no score. Here, 0-0 affair. In the bottom of the fourth, 1 down. Bench behind on the count. Pitch on the way, and he hits a hard one-hopper at Madlock. The third baseman long throwing a high throw, but Thornton got up and got down before Bench got there. 2 away. Tony Perez struck out swinging in the first. Tony really chomping at the bit the last few days to get back in the lineup after an absence of almost 2 weeks as a starter. Low and outside, the fastball. The 1-0. That's upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes to Tony Perez. Outfield playing in straight away and deep all the way around. Cardinal maybe 6 or 7 steps off the warning track in left field. 3-0 the count. Well, Geronimo, who has the only hit for Cincinnati, would be up if Perez can keep the inning going. 3-0 pitch, and Tony with a green light fouls it off. Dribbler off to the left of home plate. 3-1 now. Been some kind of series attendance-wise, I'll tell you. At 47,340 last night, 38,030 on Friday, and a near-capacity house today. Another foul, and it's a full count. So Rick Russell behind 3-0 to Tony Perez is now getting set to deliver the payoff pitch to the Cincinnati first baseman. Russell taking his time. He rocks and he deals. Swung on and fouled straight back upstairs into the red seats. Count stays at 3-2. Tomorrow night, the Pittsburgh Pirates in, now the leaders in the National League Eastern Division race. 4 more games left on what has so far started out to be a highly successful homestand. Before the Reds go back on the road next weekend against the same Chicago club at Wrigley Field. Ground ball off the end of the bat to first baseman Andy Thornton. He fields, goes to the bag to retire Tony, and the Reds are out in order in the 4th inning. So at the end of 4 complete, it remains Cincinnati nothing and Chicago nothing.
Most likely you know from nothing about banks, right? Of course, right. Well, take it from me, you got to shop for a bank. It makes sense. You're at the grocery, you're looking for a nice melon. What do? You go through the whole batch, sniffing and squeezing until you find just the right one. So you buy a bank the same way. Buy a bank? Of course you buy a bank. You put your money in it, right? So you look for a bank with the kind of services you need. You look for security. Because I ask you, where would we all be without a little security now and then? You look for a bank with nice people who know their business and the needs of their customers. And you look for a bank with a good, solid reputation, a bank you can lean on. And have I got a bank for you? Like a glove, it fits your needs. First National Bank of Cincinnati, right? Of course, right. First National Bank of Cincinnati.
We'll pause again for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
The home of the $5,000 button. Cincinnati. Purchase your Cincinnati Reds tickets downtown at 580 Walnut and at the stadium, at Burkhart's in Kenwood, Tri-County, Beachmont, Hyde Park, and Northgate, and at Home Federal Savings in Western Hills.
Doubleheader here at Riverfront Stadium this afternoon, and already we're in the Cubs' 5th inning in a 0-0 game, and Andy Thornton will lead things off against Gary Nolan, who retired 11 in a row before giving up the single in the 4th inning to Bill Madlock. He got Thornton looking at a called 3rd strike in the 2nd inning, one of 3 strikeouts for Gary. First pitch here in the 5th inning misses a ball. The Thornton, Lecock, and trio. And the totals in the game up to this point the same for each club. No runs, 1 hit. Madlock for Chicago and Geronimo for Cincinnati. Call strike, 1-1. Nolan's 1-1 pitch swung on and lined back up the middle. Gary tried to play it on the line and slipped down onto the seat of his pants in a bid to take away a base hit from Andy Thornton. will make that the second hit for Chicago, and the hitter now will be the right fielder, Pete Lecock. Lecock a fly ball to right his first time up. Whereas the Reds are 10 over the 500 mark in our division, the West, the Cubs 5 over at 28-23. They're a game back of the Pirates. And New York really bearing down. They've been playing good ball of late. Only 1 out of second and 2 out of first. Here's a fly ball hit to right field, pretty deep. Dreesen, just shy of the track, will make the catch as Thornton, halfway down to second, moves quickly back into first. That's the first out of the inning, and here's Manny Trio. Danny Dreesen getting quite a workout today. That's the 6th fly ball he's had hit his way, and it was Trio who led off the third inning with a fly ball to right field. Today's scoreboard stumper. In 1972, Billy Williams won the batting title with the Cubs, who was the last Cub batting champion before Williams. High, throw to first, not in time. 1 ball to Trio, who checks in with Herb Noren, the third base coach for Chicago. Nolan back on top of the mound, sights aside from bench, throws to first base. Gary doing a little housekeeping out on the mound as he readies himself. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and hit in the air to center field. Geronimo coming in a couple of steps. He makes the catch, 2 down.
I'm going to take a wild guess.
Fire it.
Lou Fonseca.
I'll tell you now, that might not be a bad guess. Due to the fact that he's here, and every now and then they have a tendency to throw questions at the fans in that respect. Lou Fonseca, we'll wait and see. Steve Swisher, the hitter, with 2 out. Slow curve is in, strike 1. Popped out to Tony in the third inning. Thornton at first base on the strength of the second Cub hit in the game. Nolan lob throwing on to Tony Perez. Thornton gets back. Swisher hitting only 178. No homers, 7 RBIs. Call strike 2, and he has not had a hit in this series. With that pop out of the third inning, he's now been up 8 times. The end of 4 in Pittsburgh. The Giants lead the Pirates 2-1. Ed Halicki against John Candelaria. Left-hander making his first big league start. Nolan stepping off the pitching rubber as he comes set. Pirates calling Candelaria up after they put Ken Brett on the disabled list. Foul ball down the right field line, heading toward the seats, and it will be in there. So 2 strikes and holding on Swisher. Should he get on, it'll bring up the pitcher, Rick Russell. Rose playing deep at third, only a few steps off the foul line. Concepcion on the back white line at shortstop for the right-handed batter. Another foul ball down beyond the Reds' dugout and again into the seats. Count stays 2 strikes to Swisher with 2 down and a runner at first base. 0-0 the score, in case you've just joined us. In the Chicago 5th inning of Game 1. Nolan ready. He bounces one up there. Bench knocks it down out in front of the plate. 1-2. Cubs carrying 3 catchers on their 1975 club at this moment. Swisher doing most of the everyday catching, but also had Tim Hosley and George Mitterwald. Mitterwald has been playing some at first base. Foul ball. So Steve Swisher hanging tough. Nolan got out in front quickly at 2 strikes, and now he's fouled off 3 consecutive pitches. Not 3 consecutive pitches. The last one was a curve that Gary bounced up there. Changed on him and popped him up. Shallow right center field. Morgan is there. And the side retired. No runs, 1 hit. No Cincinnati errors. The Cubs lead Thornton at first base, and at the end of 4.5, the Reds nothing and Chicago nothing.
If you think howdy partner and buenos dias sound like pretty friendly ways to greet a Red Rooter from Cincinnati, the Stroh Brewery has some friendly news for you. On Saturday, June 21st, the Reds Rooters Club, Mexico City and Acapulco. The point being to watch the Reds whip the Astros for 2 days in a row down in Houston, and then to join in a Mexican fiesta later in the week. On Saturday night and Sunday, the Reds versus the Astros, and of course a fine Stroh's hospitality party at your hotel in Houston. Then on Monday, June 23rd, everybody flies down to Mexico City for some really great sightseeing. Friday, June 27th, you'll find yourself in Acapulco for fun in the sun, including a yacht cruise of Acapulco Bay. On Sunday, June 29th, you'll jet back to Cincinnati. For complete information and reservations, call the Barney Rapp Agency at area code 513-381-7277. Once again, 381-7277. Just shout, Olay, or better yet, Stroh's.
If you happen to be looking for a last-minute Father's Day gift for Dad, the Cincinnati Reds have a great gift idea for you. How about a Cincinnati Reds tie? This handsome necktie is made of the finest quality, and its club design features the team's official Sea Reds emblem throughout the pattern. It makes a great gift, and it's priced at $10. Openers against Rick Russell. No score. The Reds oppose the game's only threat, that coming in the first inning. Ball 1 to the Chiefs. When Rose was hit by a pitch, and Dreesen got a base on balls, but since then, nothing in the way of threats for either club. Geronimo looks at a strike on the outside edge. It's 1-1. Cesar finding the hits falling few and far between over the last few games. He hits a rope foul at first base. He's behind. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Russell's wind and pitch. Fastball outside. 2-2. In the American League today, 1 doubleheader, Texas at Cleveland. At the end of 3, a Toby Harrah first-inning home run as the Rangers out in front, 1-0. Jim Bibby against rookie Eric Raich. 2-2 pitch. Fly ball, right center field. Mundy on his horse. He pulls up and makes the catch. 1 away. Here's Concepcion. Other American League games, all single games. Minnesota at Boston, Goltz against Dick Pole. Kansas City at Baltimore, Busby against Palmer. New York at Chicago, Medich against Cott. California hosting Milwaukee, Colburn against Figueroa. And Detroit at Oakland, Joe Coleman against Kenny Holtzman. Reds nothing, the Chicago Cubs nothing, and our 5th with 1 out. David, a 9-game hitting streak. The pitch. Fastball in, strike 1. Well, we quite obviously have gotten Rick Russell on one of his better days. Swing and a miss. He's lost more than he's won this season. 5 losses compared with 4 wins and a not-so-hot 4.19 ERA, but done a number on us so far. Davey fouls this one straight back. No balls, 2 strikes. Foster on deck. Just inside. Concepcion had a notion, but held up. Russell on the way with a 1-2, and that is low and inside. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kansas City and Baltimore, that game started. Royals scoreless in the first inning. Now the 2-2 delivery. Bounce right side. The first baseman Thornton scoops it up, waves Russell off the bag to get the out. So Geronimo with a fly ball, Concepcion a ground out. 2-out hitter George Foster. Order your copy of the 1975 Cincinnati Reds Media Guide. Send $2.50. The Cincinnati Reds, Department 100, Box 1970, Cincinnati. Foster thrown out 6-3 his first time up. Ball inside to him. Concepcion shouting something out toward Russell from the Reds dugout. Nobody on with 2 out in the inning. Foster out in front 2-0. Tell you, we've seen some outstanding pitching in the last week or so, and it's been primarily from the Reds pitching staff. 4 complete games in the last 6 tries. Gullett and Billingham have gone the distance in the first 2 games in this series. Foul ball. The Reds team ERA, as a result, down to a season's low of 3.03. Marky Anderson commenting earlier today he'd like to see it right around that 3 mark, or maybe just a bit under. He feels like with the offensive punch his club has, if he can keep that ERA down to around 3, this team's going to have a very, very successful season. 3 balls and a strike to Foster. Russell retiring 10 batters in a row since Geronimo's second inning hit. Pitch away from walking George with 2 out. Here's a 3-1. That is swung on, pop foul, coming straight back and down just below us. Full count. Foster taking a bit of time getting back in, as per his habit. Russell rocks and delivers. 3-2 is swung on and grounded to third. Madlock has the big convenient hop, throws to first, side, retire. Reds are out in order for the 3rd consecutive inning, and at the end of 5 full. Cincinnati and the Cubs all locked in at 0-0.
Hello, sunshine. Hello, Mountain Dew. With the lemony look of sunshine and the different taste that's right for you. Fresh as sunrise. Mountain Dew. Pours like sunshine. Refreshing at morning. The lemony taste of Mountain Dew. Hello, sunshine. Hello, sunshine.
Mountain Dew, a totally different soft drink with the lemony freshness and color of sunshine. Brighten your day with Mountain Dew.
Hello, sunshine. Hello, Mountain Dew.
Here in the 6th inning, no score in the game, and Gary Nolan will be working against 9-1-2. Rick Russell, Don Kessinger, and Jose Cardinal. 2 Chicago hits up to this point. A single by Bill Madlock in the 4th inning, and a base hit center field by Andy Thornton leading off the 5th. While the Reds continue to be one-hitted by Rick Russell, that single by Geronimo in the 2nd inning. Late scores in the American League last night. The New York Yankees picking up another victory. Boy, I'll tell you, this club's smoking, only 3 games out of first in the Eastern Division behind Boston. 6-3 over the White Sox, and Bobby Bonds hit his 14th home run of the year in that game. While in Anaheim, California, the Angels down Milwaukee 5-2. Here's Russell. The pitch to him is swung on and fouled away. Looked at a third strike in the third inning. Giants leading Pittsburgh 2-1 in the fifth. Dodgers and Phillies, no score in the third. San Diego 3-1 over Montreal in the second. Curve is strike 2 call. Sun continues to peek in and out of the clouds overhead. Field now basked in bright sunlight as Gary Nolan tries to put Rick Russell away, and swung on a curve, hit the left, cannot play it. Concepcion, a base hit. A breaking ball. Russell went down and got it. Looped one into shallow left field, just over the glove of Concepcion. So Rick Russell helps himself as he opens the 6th inning with a base hit. And now in this no-score game, Don Kessinger steps in, and he's looking down to Herb Noren, who in turn is checking it out with Jim Marshall in the Cub dugout. What do they want to do here? Rose in at third base looking for the bunt attempt. Kessinger still looking that way. Backs off, checks again. He's hit a fly ball to center, and he's hit a fly ball to right in 2 trips. So Russell at first base. Pitch to Kessinger is swung on and missed. Bench fluffing a throw to first. Gave absolutely no indication, at least on that pitch, that he wanted to bunt. Kessinger again checking with Noren. Nolan has the sign, and there goes Russell. Ball is bunted, first base side, rolling. Nolan picks it up, throws to first. Perez takes the throw, and a sacrifice for Don Kessinger. As Jim Marshall had Russell running on the pitch, he's on at second base as Kessinger is retired 1-3. Runner in scoring position for the Chicago Cubs. The first time in this game that they can lay claim to that. Here's Cardinal, who has popped to shortstop and popped out to Morgan. Gary Nolan having to bear down for the first time today as he tries to keep the Cubs off the board. Pitch on the way to the plate, and it's too low, a ball. Between games today, we'll be hearing from the East Central High School Marching Band from Brookville, Indiana. Second game pitches again, Clay Kirby against left-hander Jeff Zahn. Call strike, 1-1. Russell a single to left, the sacrifice by Kessinger. Cubs trying to get on the board. Cardinal waiting. Strike 2 is called. Nolan out in front, 1-2. Madlock in the on-deck circle. Nolan working. Bouncing ball, third base, rose up, looks Russell back to second, and throws Cardinal out at first. 2 down. Here comes Madlock. He's had one of the 3 Chicago hits, a single in the 4th inning. Hit a fly ball to right in the first. Gary Nolan 2/3 of the way home toward keeping this game a 0-0 score. Russell leading at second base. Here's a line drive down the left field line. That's in for a base hit. Here comes Foster. They send Russell home. The throw to the plate, and not in time. His bench had to go out in front of the plate to get it. 2-out single to left field by Madlock. Scores Russell. As the Cubs fracture the 0-0 tie, and Madlock goes to second on the throw home. 33rd RBI of the year for Bill Madlock. Really looked like the Reds might have had a shot at getting Russell at the plate, but Bench had to go out in front of the plate about 5 feet to take Foster's throw, and Russell, as a result, was safely sliding. Here's Rick Mundy with 2 down and a run in. Starts to go, looked like he went, but third base umpire Dutch Rennert said he didn't. Mundy has struck out and flied out. So a leadoff single by Russell, a sacrifice, and a 2-out base hit to left by Madlock has the Cubs up 1-0. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Nolan into his motion. Ground ball wide of first. Perez has it. He leads Nolan. He steps on the bag, and that's it for the Cubs in the 6th inning. But they get a run. The game's first on 2 hits and leave a man on. In the middle of inning number 6, Chicago 1 and Cincinnati 0.
If it's a big boy you hunger for, Frisch is gonna open their door. If it's a date, it's got to be quick.
One has 2 large beef patties, cheese, lettuce, and our own special sauce, and is served with French fries and creamy coleslaw. You're right, the big boy platter, and you'll find it only at Frisch's.
Good Frisch's has so much more to carry home something good to eat. Frisch's service is complete. A pretty girl and a big boy. We dining in your car of joy. If it's your family you want to drink, come on into town. Come see the good people Frisch's. The Frisch's has much more. Come see the good people Frisch's. The Frisch's has so much more.
The Cincinnati Reds will salute the agriculture industry with a special Farmers Night baseball game on Saturday, June 28th. More than $20,000 in prizes will be given away, including an International Harvester Lodestar truck worth nearly $10,000, an IH tractor, enough DeKalb XL 75 seed corn to plant 30 acres, and $500 in merchandise from Landmark's town and country stores. Why not get a group together for Farmers Night? And if you can't attend, send a postcard with your name and address to be received before the June 28th drawing to Farmers Night, Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati. Cubs out in front, 1-0 as we come to bat in the 6th inning. Gary Nolan will start it off. The Reds relegated up to this point to only a 1-hit roll, while the Cubs put together a hit, a sacrifice, and a base hit in the top of this inning. The run-scoring single by Billy Madlock to send them out in front. Nolan struck out swinging his only time up, that in the 3rd. Batter and pitcher ready. Here it comes. Fastball inside. Ball 1. Dodgers and Philadelphia have now played 2.5 innings with no score in that game. Atlanta, New York, 0-0 at the end of 1. Strike is called to Nolan, 1-1. Gary's had the luxury in his last few starts of getting a great deal of runs, but gone the other way today against some pretty good pitching by this Chicago right-hander. Call strike 2. And it's strike 3 swinging. So Russell has strikeout number 6. He'll be facing Pete Rose, who's been hit by a pitch and is bounced out to second base. Russell has now retired 12 hitters in a row. Rose batting .295 with 3 homers and 28 runs batted in. Pete up among the top 5 in the hit category in the National League. Foul ball. Garvey leads with 75. Davy Cash bearing down on Garvey. 2 hits last night to raise his total to 71. Madlock, 67 with the 2 hits today. Then Rose with his 65, and Johnny Grubb with 63. Strike 2 call. Outside corner, and Rose going to back off and talk about that one. 1-0 score. Chicago leading in the home 6th inning with an out and nobody on. The strike 2 pitch to Pete. Inside. Marshall still maintaining that slow, casual pace. Been so successful for him this afternoon. 2-2, missing high and outside. Jim Marshall, just a moment ago, sending out a sign to Mundy in center field, wanting to move a couple of steps more to his right and play Pete pretty much straight away. Full count. Off-speed pitch is high and wide. 3-2 on Rose. Well, we get Pete on, maybe something good can happen here. Danny Dreesen due up next. Russell with a long look. Now his wind and the 3-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and hit hard directly at Thornton at first base. He beats Rose to the bag, 2 down. Dreesen has been on one time at a first inning walk, but then grounded out to Kessinger in the 3rd on a hard one-hopper. Reds have beaten right-handed pitchers 11 consecutive times. Having a hard time here today. Call strike 1. Run on 4 hits for the Cubs. No runs, 1 hit for Cincinnati. 2 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Swung on, ground ball, first baseman Thornton again scoops it up and gets the bag first to retire the side. 3 men up and 3 men down, and through 6 complete. In a pitcher's duel in Game 1 of this Sunday afternoon doubleheader, the Cubs won and Cincinnati nothing.
The folks at the Stroh Brewery want to remind you that it's Stroh party time, and they also want to give you a free recipe on how to Stroh a party. So, here goes. First, get yourself some good music like this. Next, add some good friends and neighbors. Spread around some good snacks like potato chips, pretzels, things your friends like, or be different and surprise them with something new and good. Then top everything off with plenty of good cold Stroh's beer. That's the important part. Blend it all together, and you've got yourself one great party. Keep this in mind the next time you're out shopping, and look for the Stroh Party display featuring our Stay Cold 12-pack wherever you buy beer. And we'll see you at the party. The Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan.
We'll pause again for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
The home of the $5,000 button, WLW Cincinnati. You'll find some great Father's Day gift ideas in every price range when you visit the Cincinnati Reds 580 Gift Shop, corner of 6th and Walnut, downtown Cincinnati.
Andy Thornton first up for the Cubs in the 7th inning, and back to call the action for you, Joe Nuxall.
All right, Marty, as you pointed out, a real pitcher's battle here this afternoon. The first game, the Cubs have had 4 hits off Gary Nolan. Andy Thornton has one of the 4, and Nolan delivers a curveball way outside to Thornton the ball. Cardenas struck out, was called out on strikes in the second inning, and then singled to center in the fifth. Cubs leading 1-0. Nolan winds, delivers. Fastball is swung on and grounded to Concepcion, charging in short. His long throw to Perez, one away. That'll bring Peter Lecock to the plate. He is 0 for 2 both times. He's hit fly balls to Dan Dreesen in right field. The Cubs getting their run in the sixth inning. Russell scoring the run. He led off the inning with a single, was sacrificed to second by Kessinger. And then after Cardinal grounded to Rose, he picks inside a ball, Lecock. Then Madlock singles to left, and Foster's throw was off the plate, and Russell scored the one run in the ball game. 1-0 the count. Nolan delivers. Lecock swings, ground ball. Perez has it at first, waves Nolan away, and quickly 2 away here in the seventh. 2 down, and Manny Trio steps in. 0 for 2, a fly ball to right, and a fly ball to center. Nolan winds and delivers to Trio. He takes a fastball to call strike. The Cubs look like they're kind of setting on Gary's breaking stuff at the moment. The 0-1 on the way. Fastball grounded to Concepcion. Deep and short, bobbles the ball, picks it up, throws, and did not get it. Tony Perez digging the ball out to the right of the bag, but Trio hustling down the line beats the throw, and that's going to be an error charge to Dave Concepcion. First error in the ball game. So a 2 away, Trio at first base, and stepping in is the catcher Steve Swisher. Nolan sets and delivers. Swisher swings, ground ball in the hole into left field, a base hit. Foster up with the ball, returns it to the infield, and that is hit number 5 for Chicago off Gary Nolan, and brings pitcher Rick Russell to the plate. Russell 1 for 2, was called out on strikes in the third, and then singled in the sixth and scored the one Chicago run. Looking at the stolen bases for the Cubs, had 17 steals, and 11 times they've been caught. Cardinal leads with the 11 of those 17 steals. He's been caught once. All right, Russell to plate. Trio at second, Swisher at first. Low and outside with a fastball. Gary Nolan, 1-0. Gary the stretch. And delivers. That's swung on and popped foul behind the plate. Bench off of the mask. Coming back, and that one drops into the seats. And evens 1-1. Pedro Bourbon. And the Reds bullpen loosening up. Well, the Reds have beaten right-handers 11 straight times. Well, you're going to have to get us a couple here soon. First, we got to get Russell. Here's the pitch. Fastball is swung on, hit to left field. George Foster moving a bit to his left, pats the glove once and has it, and that's it. In the inning, no runs, a hit, 1 error, 2 runners left on base, and at the middle of the seventh, the Cubs 1, the Reds nothing.
Josephine, I'm home.
Well, it's about time, Napoleon. Say, what are you hiding under your coat? Persia? Constantinople?
No.
A loaf of French bread, maybe? What is it?
A new toaster.
A new toaster. We don't need a new toaster.
Listen, Josephine, I got it free for opening a savings account at the bank across the boulevard, and all I had to do was deposit $5,000.
You call $5,000 for a toaster free, Napoleon? Sometimes I think you're short on brains, too. You've got to look hard for the right bank, one with the services we need, with plenty of security, nice people, and a good, solid reputation. And you want to chuck all that for a new toaster?
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, so did Waterloo.
At First National Bank of Cincinnati, we don't give away toasters or frying pans or premiums of any kind because our business is banking. pure and simple.
First National Bank.
Well, the Reds in the seventh inning will send up Joe Morgan, Johnny Bench, and Tony Perez. It's about time we got on the old board. Rick Russell has pitched an excellent ball game. We've had just one hit, and that was Geronimo's single in the second inning. And the Chief, of course, cut down on the steal attempt. So really, Russell, with the help of the throw of Steve Swisher to Trio to cut down Geronimo, he has retired, or faced, I should say, just 15 men in the last 5 innings. All right, Joe Morgan at the plate. Joe is 0 for 2. He's hit a fly ball to right and has been called out on strikes. And the crowd comes alive here at Riverfront. Morgan takes the first pitch from Russell, a called strike. Russell has struck out 6, walked 1, and has hit a batter. Hitting Rose to lead off the game in the first inning and then walked Dreesen. That was it as he got Morgan on a fly ball to right and then struck out Bench and Perez. Outfield about straight away for Morgan. Bill Madlock, the third baseman, right at the end line. Russell's 0-1 delivery. Low and inside. A breaking ball. Count evens 1-1. Been just, 3 men to second base in the game. Pete Rose got there in the first inning for the Reds. Russell got there and scored for the Cubs in the sixth. The pitch to Morgan, he swings and misses an off-speed pitch. 1-2. Then, of course, Trio reached second in the top of this inning on an error by Concepcion and a single by Swisher. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Joe Morgan. Russell delivers, and Joe swings and fouls the slider. Count holding the ball, 2 strikes. Now they're in the 4th inning at Philadelphia, no score. The Dodgers and the Phils. Giants leading Pittsburgh 3-1 in the 6th. 1 Pittsburgh run, a home run by Richie Hebner. Again, the 1-2 to Morgan. That's taken just off the plate. Russell trying to drop the breaking ball on the outside corner. Count evens 2-2. Russell the 2-2. That's ball 3 outside, and we'd like to get little Joe on. Full count to Morgan. Leading off here in the 7th inning, the Cubs leading it 1-0. Russell's the payoff. That's ball 4 outside, and we got something going. Second walk issued by Rick Russell, and that was going to bring activity in the Chicago bullpen. We would assume Oscar Zamora would be one of them, and Darrell Knowles the other. Knowles a left-hander, Zamora a right-hander. As the Reds get their leadoff batter on in Joe Morgan. Russell sets. Bench at the plate. Now a throw over to first, and Joe steps back. Morgan with 24 stolen bases in 29 attempts. Bench 0 for 2. Russell again to the belt. Delivers. Morgan does not go, and the pitch is inside the ball. John struck out in the first inning and grounded to Madlock at third base in the 4th. 1 ball, no strikes. Russell sets. Goes again to first base, and Morgan is back. That's about the quickest move we've seen Russell use. We would assume he has a quicker one. We'll see. Morgan with his normal lead. Russell ready, and again a throw over there, and this time it is a bit quicker, and Morgan has to go backhands first. 1-0 the count to John. Bench with 12 home runs and 43 RBIs. Big day yesterday for Ribbies. Russell to the belt, again a throw to first, and again Morgan is back. Joe going back again, hands first. Time call now as Morgan wants to tidy up just a bit down at first. Bob Engel, the first base umpire. Bob missed the first two games of the series. Engel, of course, will be behind the plate in the second game of the doubleheader. Russell sets now. Still looking, and now there's a balk right there. Russell moved his feet before he threw, and he certainly balked. There was no question about that. Here comes Jim Marshall, the manager, and I think Jim knows that Russell had balked, but he probably wants to go out and just, well, maybe settle him down a bit. Let's see. So Morgan draws a balk from Rick Russell. He's at second base now, and there's been just one pitch made to Johnny Bench. Don Kessinger at the mound as he leaves, pats Russell on the right arm, and now Marshall calls Kessinger back. And they're going to keep a good eye on Morgan at second base also. Joe has stolen third, I think, twice this year. Now Kessinger will talk to Manny Trio. The Trio's responsibility. Settle him down a bit. Let's see. So Morgan draws a balk from Rick Russell. He's at second base now, and there's been just one pitch made to Johnny Bench. Don Kessinger at the mound as he leaves, pats Russell on the right arm, and now Marshall calls Kessinger back. And they're going to keep a good eye on Morgan at second base also. Joe has stolen third, I think, twice this year. Now Kessinger will talk to Manny Trio. The Trio's responsibility, I would imagine here, to hold Morgan close as Kessinger will be playing John well around to the left at shortstop. Trio is only about 10-12 feet from the second base bag, trying to hold Morgan close. All right, Russell ready. He delivers to Bench, and John swings and grounds it foul over to the Chicago dugout. Count evens 1-1. Darrell Knowles and Oscar Zamora throwing in the Chicago bullpen. And Clay Carroll has started to throw in our pen. Russell ready. And the 1-1. Bench swings and hits it deep to left field. Stay fair. Baseball gone. Well, Johnny Bench rips one down the left field line, and I mean an absolute shot. The Reds lead it 2-1. Johnny Bench, his 13th home run of the year. It gives him 45 RBIs, and the Reds lead it 2-1. And boy, that was an absolute shot. Russell trying to get up and in to look like the Bench, but John really got the good part of the bat on that one. All right, Russell ready to work now to Tony Perez. He swings and fouls the fastball. Reds leading it now 2-1. The Reds only their second hit of the game off Russell. 0-1 the count to Perez. Russell delivers. Perez swings and pops it foul. Out of play to the right. Russell out in front. No balls, 2 strikes to Tony. Perez 0 for 2. He struck out in the first inning and bounced to Thornton at first base in the fourth. All right, the 0-2 swung on and missed, and that's strikeout number 7 for Russell. 2 away, or make that 1 out, and stepping in is Cesar Geronimo. The Chief owns the other hit off Russell with a single back in the second inning. Outfield straight away to Geronimo as Russell delivers, going inside the ball. Second game, it'll be a left-hander for the Cubs, Jeff Zahn. To the Reds, Clay Kirby. 1-0 to Geronimo. He swings and misses a slider in. 1-1. Johnny Bench, 13th home run of the year. Puts the Reds out in front. Morgan at second base when the home run struck. 1-1 delivery. Swung on and missed again. Same pitch, same spot. Russell now a ball, 2 strikes with a cheat. Zamora and Knowles in the Chicago bullpen. All right, the 1-2. That's low and inside, blocked by Swisher. Count evens, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Clay Carroll throwing in the Cincinnati bullpen. Merv Rettenman loosening up, and that would mean that Merv will probably go into the game in right field, replacing Dan Dreesen. Russell's 2-2 on the way. Swung on and missed. 8 strikeouts for Rick Russell. Rick has made 1 bad pitch in the game, and it cost him 2 runs. Two away, and Dave Concepcion to the plate. Dave has struck out and bounced to first and 2 times up. David hitting at 293, was 296 coming in to the first game. A fastball is up high to Concepcion, 1-0. Russell delivers. Concepcion swings and misses, make it a foul tip into the mid of Swisher. 1-1. Pirates in town tomorrow night. 2-game series, 1-1 delivery. David bluffs the bunt that cost him strike 2, a fastball at the knees. 1-2 now to Concepcion as Dave just takes the bat and kind of holds it against his chest and as to say, I'm not so sure it was. All right, the 1-2 on the way. That's swung on, a bouncer. Madlock charging at third. He gets the running throw away to Thornton, and that's it. But in the inning, the Reds go on top with 2 runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, no one left on base. The end of 7. It's the Reds 2, the Cubs 1. Well, we've gone through 7. The Cubs a run, 5 hits, no errors. The Reds 2 runs, 2 hits, and 1 error. For the Cubs, the top of the order. Come to the plate in the 8th inning and back for the action. Here's Marty.
And as Gary Nolan prepares to work to Don Kessinger to start off the Chicago 8th inning, Sparky Anderson has double-barrel action in his bullpen. Left-hander Will McInerney and right-hander Clay Carroll begin to throw. And also a defensive change in right field. Merv Rettenman has replaced Danny Dreesen, as Joe pointed out, that possibility while the Reds were batting in the 7th. Kessinger 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. It was his bunt in the 6th inning following Rick Russell's single that set up the Cubs' run. Madlock delivering a 2-out base hit to left field to give him a 1-0 lead, and Johnny Bench's 13th of the year. The last inning with Morgan on base gives the Reds a 1-run edge. Here's Kessinger, here's Nolan. The pitch is swung out and popped up. Left side of the Reds infield, Concepcion calling. He has it for out number 1. So 1 pitch and 1 out at a point in the game when you like to see that type of thing happening. Jose Cardinal come in plate. Woody's popped to short, popped to second base, and his last time in the 6th inning was thrown out 5-3. Foster backpedaling a couple of steps in left field as Cardinal digs in. Nolan 5 outs away from his 5th consecutive victory. The pitch to Cardinal is swung on and foul. Dodgers and the Phillies are in the bottom of the 5th inning now, and 0-0 in that game. Sutton and Lonborg hooked up in a duel. The Reds going into first place last night by 0.4 of a percentage point over the Dodgers as they fell 4-0. The first time that club had been shut out this season. Carlton did it, holding him to 2 hits. A breaking ball is away to Cardinal, and it's 1-1. Bill Madlock on deck. Nolan back to the plate. Cardinal swings, bouncing ball. Rose has it to his lap, throwing to first. 2 down. Here's Bill Madlock. He has had 2 of the 5 Chicago hits, including the single that brought in their run in the 6th inning. 33rd RBI of the year and batting a very, very impressive .330. This young man should be a very strong candidate for third base honors in the All-Star game coming up next month. Fastball high inside. One-0 pitch. Line shot, left center, a base hit. And Madlock has his 3rd hit in the game. And the inning continues for center fielder Rick Mundy, who's 0 for 3. Madlock 3 for 4 in this game is now 5 for 12 in the series. Done a good job at the plate, has a couple of runs batted in. The tie and run on for Chicago in the 8th inning with 2 out. Left-handed batting Rick Mundy at the plate. Nolan delivers to him, and Mundy hits a ground ball squiggler to shortstop. David's throw will be to first, and the side retires. No runs in the Chicago 8th on a hit. A man is left. In the middle of the 8th inning, the Reds 2 and the Cubs 1.
200 years ago, Stroh's beer began in a little village in Germany. It was a special beer, smoothed and mellowed in small batches over a real fire. And because it was brewed in those small batches, it was like cooking for a few friends instead of an army. People came from miles around to enjoy it. Today in America, Stroh still brews beer much the same way. And it's still a smooth and mellow beer. So on our 200th anniversary, we took some Strohs back to Germany. And you know what? People came from miles around to enjoy it. Golden, delicious Stroh, still brewed for you by the same family. Still a real beer lover's beer, wherever you are. The Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan. Family brewers for 200 years.
An easy, convenient way to get Reds tickets is to order them in advance by mail. Mail orders for tickets are filled on a first-come, first-served basis. Your order is handled the date it's received at the Reds Stadium ticket office, and your tickets are sent back to you. Check out your Reds schedule right now. Box seats are $4.50. Reserve seats are $3.50. Send check or money order to Cincinnati Reds, Box 1970, Cincinnati. Don't forget to include 25 cents with each order for handling. George Foster opening up our 8th. He fouls off Rick Russell's first pitch. George hitless in 2 tries, has bounced both times to the left side of the infield, once to Kessinger and once to Madlock. Gary Nolan on deck. Reds have had but 2 hits, but the long ball has us out in front 2-1. Check swing on a curve in on him, and it's strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, we look ahead to the Cub 9th inning. Andy Thornton, Pete Lecock, and Manny Trio are the scheduled batters. Foster hitting .276. Russell winds and throws, and George line drives a base hit to left field. Well, we would take an insurance run. And now with that leadoff single by Yahtzee, look for Gary Nolan to try to get him on to second base. Just a reminder, All-Star balloting is underway and continues through July 7th. You can get your official All-Star ballot at Riverfront Stadium, Reds ticket agencies, and at most stores where Gillette products are sold. Madlock creeping in, still coming in. Ball is taken up high by Nolan. Well, you've got the left-hander Darrell Knowles. You've got the right-hander Oscar Zamora back throwing in the Cub bullpen. We've got Foster at first. We've got a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. Nobody out. Here's a 1-0. Nolan bunts first base side and a foul ball. 1-1. Swisher straight up behind the plate. Now goes to the squat. Madlock coming in again. Here's a pitch. Inside. But a foul tip into Swisher's mitt makes it strike two. Oh, a tough break for Gary Nolan and the Reds. That pitch was way in on him, an off-speed pitch. Just did. Nick the bat, and he's behind it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Madlock looking into the Cub dugout to find out whether or not he's wanting to still play for the bunt, which he is. That ball bunted first base line and rolls foul, and again a situation where Nolan was bailing out. That'll go as a strikeout for Russell. 1 out of the inning, and Pete Rose will be at the plate as we go back to the top of the Reds batting order. Make it 9 strikeouts for Russell. He has pitched himself a whale of a game, but as Joe pointed out, he has made 1 mistake, and that's the one that hopefully will make him a loser. Rose has been hit by a pitch and grounded out 2 times. Foster back leading at first base against a holding Andy Thornton. Pete looks at a strike away. Stretch in the pitch. That misses. Ball 1 and strike 1. Well, Davy Cash has broken the scoreless tie in Philadelphia with his first home run of the year with a man on base, and the Phils lead the Dodgers 2-0. One and one. Russia with Pete Rose with an out and Foster at first base. Throw to first, but not in time. Russell taking his time. 1-1 pitch. Foster goes. Swung on. Fly ball hammered back into left center field. Mundy going back to the warning track and makes the catch as he bangs against the wall. Now the throw back to the infield. Foster trying to get back and does. Well, I'll tell you now, Rose hit that ball a long way into left center field. But Mundy left the ground at the warning track to come up with it. Foster back in safely at first with 2 out, and the batter will be Merv Retman. Merv up for the first time. He came on to play right field in the top of the inning. Pitch to him. Inside, ball 1. Retman batting an even 200, has no homers and 5 runs batted in. In fact, got a double yesterday. Came out as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning and double in the 8th off of Oscar Zamora. Call strike. 1-1. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Retman. He tried to check his swing and apparently was not able to, or at least that pitch was over on the outside corner. Anyway, a strike. Merv down 1-2 with 2 down. Foster at first in the 8th. The Reds 2 and the Cubs 1. Line drive to left field. That's in for a hit. Retman hit that ball well as Foster moves to second base and holds there. And as Morgan comes up, we'll pause for station identification on the Reds Baseball Network.
The home of the $5,000 button, WLW Cincinnati. Tickets for all Cincinnati Reds home dates are on sale before, during, and after every Reds game at Riverfront Stadium. On your next visit, pick up tickets at the advanced ticket window.
Well, with 2 men on base hits by Foster and Merv Retman, Joe Morgan is in, but he'll have to wait a moment. Jim Marshall, the Chicago Cubs skipper, is on his way to the mound. And we will have a pitching change as a left-hander, Darrell Knowles, has gotten the call to come on. So we got a break in the action here in the bottom of the eighth. Change of Chicago pitchers, and we'll step out for this message. Darrell Knowles, the left-hander, is on now to pitch to Joe Morgan with 2 men on and 2 men out. And we've just gotten word that Philadelphia added another run in addition to the 2 runs by Davy Cash's home run. They lead the Dodgers 3-0 at the end of 5 complete. Knowles has won 2, lost 2. Leads his Cub pitching staff in appearances. This is 21st. A .406 earned run average. He's working to Morgan with Foster at second, Rentman at first. The pitch is high, ball 1. Joe 0 for 2, but had that big leadoff walk in the 7th inning. Got the balk from Rick Russell and then rode home on Johnny Bench's 13th. Here's a 1-0 delivery. Check swing on a pitch too low. It's ball 2. Well, they put it on the board here at the end of 5 full. Phillies 3, Dodgers nothing. Tell you, we could win this game. It could be a big day indeed. 2-1 to score Cincinnati. Morgan out in front on the count, and he's now ball 3 and no strikes. Tell you, Jim Marshall has had a world of trouble with his bullpen in this series. He went to it time and again yesterday. Eddie Watt, Ken Frayling, Bobby Locker, all had trouble finding the strike zone, and now Darrell Knowles in his first appearance has gone 3-0 on Morgan with you-know-who on deck. Here's a look into Swisher. The pitch. That's ball 4 inside, and their bases are loaded. Well, let's see if Marshall will come back and bring on the right-hander Zamora to face Johnny Bench. Johnny had the home run in the last inning, a line hugger to left. Now with 13 and 45 RBIs. And apparently Knowles will stay on to pitch to JB. Foster third, Rettenman second. They had hits. Morgan at first, he had a walk. Bench with 2 Grand Slam home runs already this season. The pitch. Taken high and away, a ball. The stretch and the pitch. That's outside and low. It's 2-0 to Johnny Bench. When Knowles came on after Rettenman base hit Russell, he walked Morgan on 4 straight pitches and is 2-0 with Bench. Got to come in with a strike pitch, and Johnny knows it all too well. Former Oakland A's reliever checking in. Checking the runners. 2-0 delivery. That is a strike on the outside. He kept it down. 2-1. Clay Carroll has stopped throwing in the Reds bullpen, but Will McInerney has not. The 2-1 on the way. Check swing and strike 2, and Bench is really upset now. He got a little bit bent out of shape over the first call strike. But now making his feelings known to the plate umpire, Doug Harvey. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. The bases are loaded for the Reds in the 8th inning. We lead by a run. Knowles a strike away from ending it. Or if you look at it optimistically, a strike away from disaster. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and ripped foul to the Cub dugout. Whoa, what a shot. Fortunately, that didn't get anybody, but it woke a few people up. Two and two it remains.
I don't know who that is in the corner of the dugout down there, but I know one thing. He was hemmed in.
Looks like Jerry Morales. It is. Knowles cranking it up again, 2-2ing to Bench. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and the side retired. No runs in the eighth for Cincinnati on 2 hits, 3 men left, and as we go to the ninth inning, we got a hold of them. The Reds 2 and the Cubs 1. Top of the ninth inning here at Riverfront Stadium, and before Andy Thornton steps in, here's the completed pitching line now on Cubs starter Rick Russell. He went 7 2/3 innings today, gave up only 4 hits. 2 runs, both earned, and both coming on Johnny Bench's 7th inning home run. He struck out 9, walked 2, hit a batter, and also committed a balk. Gary Nolan will be facing, in addition to Thornton, Pete Lecock and Manny Trio, or at least they're the scheduled batters. Through 8, Nolan has given them that 1 run in the 6th inning and 6 base hits. Cubs did not have a hit for the first 3, but have had 1 hit over the last 5 innings and 2 in the 6th inning when they scored their run. Andy Thornton is 1 for 3, a single leading off the 5th inning. And Nolan is set to work, and Thornton is in. Here's a pitch. Swung on, a bouncing ball left side, Concepcion deep. He has a long throw to make and did not get it. Well, he gave it one heck of a shot. He went deep behind the back white line and pulled well over toward third base to field that ground ball. And Thornton, who has better than average speed for a big man, still just did beat the throw. So the infield hit to start the ninth for Chicago. They have the tie and run on, and here's left-handed batting Pete Lecock. Hit 2 fly balls to right field and has bounced out to Tony. See what he's going to do. He's swinging away, or at least doesn't even bluff a bunt on the first pitch. It's outside. Cubs have out hit a 7-4, but trailed 2-1. Now let's turn our first double play of the game. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, hit in the air. Shallow right center field. Morgan calling for it all the way, and he's got it. 1 out. Hitter will be Manny Trio. 2 fly balls to the outfield. He reached in the 7th on an error by Concepcion, the only error in this game. Phillies are now batting in the bottom of the 6th. Still, they lead the Dodgers 3-0. The Reds up by 1 run, 2-1 here in our first game. Oscar Zamora walking back down to the Cub bullpen as Nolan takes a long look to bench. The pitch to Trio. Strike 1 call. Manny checking in with Herb Noren. Andy Thornton at first base, 1 out. Foul ball to the screen, it's 0-2. Hope you'll stay tuned on most of these same stations immediately following the completion of game number 1. Joe will be back with Reds wrap-up. This one not over yet. In the 9th, the 0-2 pitch to Trio. Fouled back and out of play. Second game pitchers will have Clay Kirby for Cincinnati. He's 3-3 on the year, and left-hander Jeff Zahn for the Dodgers, or for the Cubs, former Dodger, 1 win and 2 losses. Breaking ball outside, 1-2. Nolan taking his time as he walks around the mound. Steve Swisher is the on-deck batter. Manny Trio commanding Gary Nolan's attention right now. The pitch on the way. Backing on it is Merv Retman. He has room to play it. He's got it. 2 down. Steve Swisher scheduled a hit, but he has been called back by manager Jim Marshall, and Champ Summers will be the pinch hitter. Summers, a left-handed batter who was a starter in right field yesterday, was hitless and 4 times up, will be the pinch hitter with 2 out in the 9th inning. Two men out, Thornton leading at first base. Here's a pitch to Summers, a ball outside. Should he get on, We'll have another pinch hitter up for the pitcher. 2-0. Adrian Garrett is on deck to bat for Darrell Knowles, but hopefully we won't get there. Nolan behind his Summers 2-0. Checking and dealing. Swung on and fouled back. It is a 2-1 game. Cincinnati here in the ninth inning. Johnny Bench with a seventh inning home run following a walk to Joe Morgan after the Reds had trailed 1-0 on one hit. The 2-1 delivery. That is low, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Swung on and a base hit center field. Geronimo quickly up with the ball as Thornton takes a turn. He'll stay right there. And Summers has kept the ninth inning going for Chicago with a pinch single up the middle. Adrian Garrett, another left-handed batter, will hit for the pitcher, Darrell Knowles. They have Will McEnany come on out and pitch to Garrett. Adrian Smokey Garrett Jr., left-handed hitter who has some power. Been up 19 times this season, batting 105 with a home run. He hits a ground ball, right side. Morgan has it. Bobbles cannot find it, and all hands are safe. Well, Joe had it behind the back white line and simply could not find the handle on it. He dropped the ball. It rolled between his legs. He looked back to find it, and by that time, no play anywhere. So the bases are loaded on Morgan's 2-out error here in the ninth inning. And the batter will be Don Kessinger, the Chicago shortstop and leadoff hitter. Kessinger 0 for 3 has had a sacrifice. So now the tie-in run at third, the go-ahead run, and Champ Summers at second base. And all of a sudden, things have turned out to be just a little bit sticky here. Nolan delivers. Inside a ball. Thornton at third. Summers at second. Garrett on at first base. Nolan really having to bear down. Dealing the 1-0 pitch. Swung on. Fly ball. Left center field. Geronimo back. And this one belongs to the Reds. Here in the ninth inning for the Chicago Cubs. No runs. 2 hits, 1 error, 3 left. Your final score, the Reds 2, the Cubs 1 in our first game, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Stop and enjoy a big, big boy, a Double Jack hamburger treat. The national favorite, coast to coast, so stop and enjoy a big, big boy.
Watching the Reds win at Riverfront Stadium has always been a great way to spend the day. And one sure way to add to that enjoyment is going to Frisch's before or after the game. It's all part of the tradition. Why Frisch's? Because not only does Frisch's offer a wide variety of great-tasting treats from sandwiches to full-course dinners, they also have the convenience of curb service. When you drive into Frisch's, there is never any waiting for curb service. You simply press the button on the speaker, and your order is taken immediately. Fast, easy, and convenient. That's the best way to describe Frisch's curb service. So the next time you're on your way to the game, curb your appetite. Visit your nearest Frisch's drive-in restaurant.
Stop and enjoy a big, big boy, a Double Jack hamburger treat. The national favorite, coast to coast, so stop and enjoy a big, big boy.
Well, before this capacity house at Riverfront Stadium, Gary Nolan has gotten Don Kessinger on a line drive to Geronimo in center field. The Cubs leave him loaded, and the Reds have scored a 2-1 first game victory here this afternoon. 2 runs on 4 hits, 2 Cincinnati errors with 5 men left on. The Cubs had a run on 8 hits, no errors, and they stranded 9. Gary Nolan, in winning his 5th consecutive game, is now 6-3 on the year. And Rick Rushell, who pitched an out-of-sight ball game for Chicago, but still a loser and a record of 4-6. The Cubs with a run in the 6th inning, but Johnny Bench, his 13th homer of the year in the 7th, following a Joe Morgan leadoff walk, was the blow that won the ball game for the Reds by a score of 2-1. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
People I see every day stop me on the street and say, "You're looking good, girl. Who put the sunshine in your world?" So I tell them back your laughter, lighten up my cloudy day, and the feeling of contentment that I know. The way you make me feel like wanting on a peaceful night at home, while we're sharing loving thoughts over the great taste of strong. You make me know that I'm looking good. You can't have a good thing like the taste of Stroh's beer, brewed with family pride for 200 years. From one beloved to another, Stroh's beer, looking good.
That was Kelly Garrett for the Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan. Family brewers for 200 years.
The Reds are winner in the first game, 2-1. Now have won 15 of the last 18 games and go 11 over the 500 mark at 33 victories and 22 losses, and now hope to sweep it here this afternoon with right-hander Clay Kirby going in the second game against Chicago left-hander Jeff Zahn. This broadcast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by Cincinnati Reds Incorporated solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. And the publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Cincinnati Reds Incorporated is prohibited. Stay tuned now, won't you, on most of these same Reds Baseball Network stations for Joe Nutsall with Reds Wrap-Up. And again, the final score in Game 1 this afternoon, the Reds 2, the Cubs 1.
Have you got plenty of milk on hand? You know, milk is the beverage the whole family can enjoy with any one of your favorite foods. Pick up an extra carton. You know how fast the milk goes.
WLW Radio, Cincinnati.